Mesa, I love it. This is my home. Everybody knows everybody, especially up in this end, because there's so many old people, you know, walking down the street. You get to where you know them.
A small town. It's what La Mesa has always been, since it's been La Mesa. It began as Allison Springs, named for the man who owned the land and grazed sheep here. Civilization came with the train in 1889. Then you could make the trip to San Diego in half an hour, or in 2 hours by wagon.
It was considered a place where people came retired from the East or who had health problems, and it was a quiet little community away from the dampness of the ocean and very rural.
This is what the town looked like in 1912, the day the Army marched through on its way to deal with Mexican border bandits. Even well into this century, La Mesa was far different than it is today. Native Warren Whiteman remembers when it was known as the Jewel of the Hills.
It was almost on a par with La Jolla, that somehow over the years the city fathers, bless their hearts, let things get away from them. This town was really quite booming, was booming very well up until about 1950, and with the advent of the first shopping centers, it seemed to fade into obscurity.
Grossmont Center brought a lot of changes to La Mesa, changes that eventually led business out of the village and left the vacant lots you see today. Redevelopment projects begun years ago and never finished.
We started a redevelopment project and we developed the first phase, and then we went to the second phase, leveled all the buildings in downtown La Mesa, and for whatever the reason, the present and past city councils have been unable to develop it. It is perhaps the most expensive land in the city of La Mesa. It's right, it is the hub of the city of La Mesa, and it's really a shame that it is sitting there doing nothing.
The old houses on the hill attest to what La Mesa once was. The stories handed down about the movie years when silent films were made at SNL studios. But only the stories are left, along with a few photographs, chronicling a time when La Mesa rivaled Hollywood. Yes, La Mesa has known its moments of fame.
Against Wiggins, going in strong. Walton gets the rebound and gets the basket.
One of the most well-known people ever to come out of San Diego and enter the sporting world started right here in the gym at Helix High. Bill Walton played basketball here in the late 60s and went on to become one of the most recognized players in the NBA. There are some real landmarks in La Mesa.
Something else now? We have our French bread on special today, 56 cents a loaf.
Like Logan's Bakery. It's been here for 50 years. And the corner drugstore.
What have you been out doing today?
Oh, I went for a lengthy walk this morning.
I listened to the radio station you recommended yesterday on my day off.
There's another landmark. It's a pharmacy out of the past. They still deliver.
This little village atmosphere is so different than going across the freeway. It changes a whole lot, even though that's still La Mesa. I live close enough that I walk to work every day. It's just a real nice little atmosphere, real nice community. Everybody knows everybody. We know most of the people when they come in the store by their name, and I think they like that a lot.
It's a little town from the old Southwest that's retained its charm and character amidst the freeways and shopping centers. From its steepled churches, old storefronts, and winding streets come the shadows of a little town and a simpler time.
I think a lot of people get this feeling that it's a really interesting little village that hasn't lost some of its past.
It's really a nice place to be. Good weather, good people.
Hopefully I live here the rest of my life.